Hello, I'm Christy Love, and this is my philosophical model analysis for EDUC 703. Dr. Smith is my professor. And I want to talk to you today about one of my heroes, one of my inspirations, Paulo Freire, a true social justice warrior. I happen to believe that if his liberation pedagogy was applied to the American educational system, that it can change society and hold America accountable to her foundational principles of liberty, justice, and equality. A little background so that you can get a feel for what inspired his ideology. Freire was born in Brazil, and during his time, he witnessed great political change. Brazil changed from a representative democracy to a military dictatorship per military coup. In fact, Freire was arrested and eventually expelled from the country for his work through education to change the social order. Also, there was great economic change as Brazil began to modernize and industrialize, causing a massive amount of poverty within the country. Now, Brazil and the United States are very similar. Historically, they both began as colonies of a European country. In Brazil, of course, it was Portugal who came over and displaced the indigenous people and enslaved Africans to work on plantations. The economy, you have unequal distribution of wealth still to this day, and society is very hierarchical. So when Freire talks about his philosophy of education, he makes a distinction between the traditional education system and an educational system that implements a liberation pedagogy. So in a traditional education system, you have something called a banking system. And this is where the teacher deposits prepackaged knowledge into the students as if they're empty vessels. And what determines if you're intelligent is if you can memorize and regurgitate that prepackaged knowledge. So schools, for the most part, just reproduce society as it was. And those who were marginalized in society took on a culture of silence. They felt hopeless. They just felt like this is how it's supposed to be and it's how it's going to be. And he called that dehumanization. Those who were in the ruling class really didn't view those who were marginalized as humans. And with liberation pedagogy, the goal is to create a new social order. Instead of an all-knowing teacher with prepackaged knowledge, you have problematizing education implemented. And this is where you sit in dialogue, and the teacher is learning just as much as the student. And we have an issue, and we're going to solve it. And what this does is creates a critical consciousness. The students become aware of factors, of forces within society that create the social, economic, and political inequities. And once they can identify those factors and forces, then they can plan to fight against them, giving them hope, giving them a drive. And so it empowers them. It makes them human again. And so liberation pedagogy is context-driven. Where I am determines what I teach. Who I'm teaching determines the knowledge that is necessary, the knowledge that is created. And so here are my references, and I hope you take the opportunity to learn more about Freire. Thank you.